Hi, I'm James Yeager, and you're watching Q&A Sunday number 20.
Alright guys, it's time for another Q&A Sunday, the show where I answer your gun and gear questions submitted all over social media. Every week, I give away a small prize pack to the person that submits the best question as voted per you guys, and last week's winner was ALC on Instagram for his question about AR-15 gas length systems. So, ALC, get me your info, and I will get you out a prize pack very, very soon, brother. You guys had a bunch of really good questions this week, so why don't we get it started with one from YouTube, this time from 59 Big Walt, and he wanted to know how new and recent gun owners can benefit from SHOT Show, what they can take away from it. And honestly, it's a good way to keep your finger on the pulse. SHOT Show is where most companies are going to release their latest and greatest, so to speak. You're going to see a lot of new products that may not come out that very year. They may wait another year. That's kind of been the trend. They'll release something and then you won't see it until 2 years later, which is kind of ridiculous. But that's kind of been the trend, so it's a good way to kind of keep up with things. You know, that's where you may see something like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I was looking for. And you now have a chance to attain it and follow that company and see what they're up to. So SHOT Show is great for things just like that, the latest and greatest, keeping your finger on the pulse. The next question this week is from Stephen Esterly, and he wanted to know what my favorite collectible weapon is of the old school variety. Now, you guys know that I have an absolute passion for machine guns, so I gotta pick a machine gun, and that one would be the MG42 or the FG42, both super cool old school machine guns with an insanely fast fire rate. If I'm not mistaken, the MG42 was known as Hitler's buzzsaw, and that was basically because the sound it made when it was firing. Absolutely impressive weapon system, and I would love to have one. Our next question is from Chava915 on Instagram, and he wanted to know if it's better to get an NFA item as a gun trust or as an individual. And I'll put it simply, get it as a gun trust. As an individual, that item essentially becomes locked to you. Transferring it is going to cost at least $200, and I think that's kind of silly when if you get it as a gun trust, there's a lot more flexibility and it's a lot more future-proof. And you can involve your family, your friends, etc. And I think that's clearly the best way to go. So definitely get things as a gun trust. Now, obviously, regulations may change and we may get screwed over, but a trust is clearly 110% the best way to do it. Our next question is from a buddy of mine that runs a company called Busted JK. If you guys are into Jeeps, go check it out. Busted JK, Mike's a great guy. And he wanted to know how I feel about the UN Arms Trade Treaty. Quite simply, I am not following anything that the UN has to say. Those little blue helmets aren't going to get very far on US soil. Just like I won't listen to executive orders because, Mr. President, I don't follow orders. I'm not your servant. That's not how this works. You're an elected official. I don't follow orders. Now, UN Arms Trade Treaty, I don't know why they think they have some kind of jurisdiction over what happens here in the United States. If there is some big swing and people decide to follow that, I will pick the route of civil disobedience. It's quite simple. I don't follow what the UN has to say because they are not part of the United States. Whether they like to think that or not is irrelevant. They are not in charge of anything here in the United States. So UN, good luck. Now, last but not least, we have a Facebook question from Joe File, and he wanted to know how I feel about 12-gauge mini shells. And it's funny you asked that because in that giant mountain of stuff that I have coming to you guys in the next couple months is a test on 12-gauge mini shells. I don't really know how they work. I mean, obviously you put them in the gun and you can fit a lot more, but as far as functionality and if they're worth using, I don't know yet. So we're going to do a test on that and see exactly how they perform. So definitely stay tuned to that, guys. It's going to be pretty interesting. And unfortunately, that is it for another Q&A Sunday. Guys, please do not forget to vote for your favorite question in the comment section down below, where you can also submit your very own question for next week's show. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, and Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Remember, guys, you can support the channel more by going to patreon.com/I'mWithChaos.